So let's talk now about direct marketing, because that was my world before all the instances of the web and email marketing, all of which are very relevant. It all comes down, in my mind, to direct marketing. It's direct marketing. You want to make sure you're targeting, you have an audience that you're targeting something to. So direct marketing includes direct mail. And here's the thing, folks. I've heard that the death of direct mail has been on death's doorstep for the last 10 years. It's not. It actually is very effective. It still works because it's one of the few mediums that you can really, really identify who you want to talk to. Now, what do I mean by that? If you live in a condominium complex, chances are you should not be hearing from a gutter company. It's a waste of money. But I live in a townhome now, and I cannot tell you, I still get landscapers sending me mail. It's effective if done correctly. So when you do this, make sure whoever you're using for your list management, they pull that information out. Pull out the stuff that you're not going to be able to talk to. You could have the greatest invention or greatest things since sliced bread. You could be saying to people, I'm going to give you a gold bar if you help me and sign up with me. But if they can't use your product or service, it's a waste of money. And it affects your ROI negatively, right? Because these people can't respond. So that's an important one. Email marketing. I think email marketing is tremendous as a second touch. I have never been a big advocate of just blasting out a bunch of emails to people. First, with all the spam considerations and other issues that are out there, it's hard to do that. And secondly, it's hard to find reliable, relevant, and accurate companies that have a list of data and information that they really have that kind of cost associated with that makes it meaningful for you. But if you get them to your website or you have them respond to a direct mail campaign to record their email address and to start communicating with them that way, no brainer, low cost, and it's an easy way to keep a dialogue going. Telemarketing. This one gets a lot of negative publicity because specifically if people are calling in the middle of dinner, right? We never did that. And I'll talk to you about a few programs later on that we actually use aggressive telemarketing. I had 40 people in an office that we would follow up on direct mail or email campaigns, and we were very effective in what we were able to accomplish with targeted telemarketing that's intelligently done. It's very valuable. And it's a relatively low-cost way to actually start that dialogue with someone. You know, what's the key with all of these is, as I said before, the target market's defined. You know who you're talking to, right? I mean, general mass media, you're basically picking an area and maybe you're talking to the right people and maybe you're not. But if you do your targeting right, when you buy the mailing list that's going to be used either for your direct mail, your email, or telemarketing, you know who you're basically talking to, and you know that you're basically talking to somebody who should be able to use your product or service. That's the critical path here. Who you're talking to is very, very important. Cost per thousand can be defined. It all goes back to ROI. I can literally tell you without question, once you start generating lead opportunities and your calls and your sell-through, you'll know what your ROI is. You won't necessarily know that with a lot of other mediums. So if you've got limited dollars, trying to do it with one of these three methods is a good approach to try and do smart marketing and effective lead generation. And the key here, your efforts are controlled, right? It permits alteration. So let's say you do an email where you offer 10% discount and it turns out that really is not doing it. Well, guess what? It doesn't cost a whole lot of money to alter that a little bit and to drive that person perhaps to a buying decision, very important, buying decision. Not everybody's in a buying window at the same time. Never happens. Drive them to a buying decision based on the fact that you've altered the offer. And maybe you went back to them 30 days later with something a little different, and it doesn't cost anything. And they're already in the net. They're already in the net. They've indicated, they've raised their hand. And here's something I don't know that I have in the presentation, but something I'll share with you. In every direct marketing program that I ran, okay, not everyone, there's about 20% of your audience that's in a buying window at that point in time. Meaning, if I've got 100 people that I'm going to market to, and depending upon my product or service, pretty much across platforms, what I've seen is 20% of people are in a buying decision window right then and there. They're interested in it, they need it, they know they need it, they're investigating it. At some point in time, that 20% window, now that moves, that crosses a continuum, but the bottom line is if you can capture people within that buying window, that's meaningful because you can try and close appointments and close sales with them. Okay? What's most important is if you catalog that information, you go back to the other 60% and start talking to them with different messages later on to move them back in. And so you try and figure out how best to cycle that through. And the best way to do that is with some type of contact management system. And I can go into that a little bit further too. So any questions about this detail?